dugsiga boardingka iyo maalinlaha ah ee Amano Boarding and Day School.
For one student is today our topic is about Greek Empire. We are in the last chapter of Form 1 history. So the topic of today is the Greek and Persian wars. So in terms of terminology, the war that was fought between Greek and Persia in general is called the term Persian wars. So that's the term used for the fight that was between the Greeks and the Persians. So what is the definition of the Persian wars? In generally, the best definition for the Persian war was a series of wars fought between the Persians and the Greeks from 492 BC to 449 BC. So the war that was fought between the Persians and the Greeks is called the Persian wars. That's the name the historians gave. So who were the Persians? Let us understand. We need to understand who were the Greeks. We need to understand also who were the Persians. So now, the Persians at that time, they were the largest empire in the world. They were the most powerful empire that ruled the world. And at the same time, they controlled from Egypt all the way to India. Imagine, Egypt is in Africa and India is in Asia. So they were the superpower at that time. Now the term superpower is mostly used for the most powerful countries in the world. So the Persian Empire was the largest and most powerful empire in the world at that time when the Persian wars was taking place. So they controlled the land that stretched from Egypt all the way to India. Now we need to understand who were the Greeks. Who were the Greeks? Okay, the Greeks in generally, they were made up of a number of city-states. The Greeks, they were comprised of city-states that were independent from each other. Sparta, Athens, Corinth, Thebes, Argos. Each one has their own government. Sometimes even they use it to fight one another. So typically these city-states fought each other all the time. But when Persia attacked them, they came together and they were united for that common threat from other parts of the world. So typically these city-states fought each other, but they united to fight against the Persians. So now let us understand who are the Ionians. You remember the Ionians were Greeks that lived along the coast of Turkey. They lived along the coast of Turkey. So now they were conquered by the Persians. The Ionians were Greeks who lived the coast of Turkey at that time. The Persians, they attacked Ionians. When the Ionians decided to revolt, what happened? They asked Athens and other Greek cities for help. So now Persia started their war against one of the Greeks called Ionians. And then they demand help from other city-states like Athens. What happened? The other Greek cities sent ships and weapons. They helped. They provided weapons and at the same time ships, but were quickly defeated. The Persians were more powerful and they really defeated. So the Persians did not like this and decided to conquer the rest of the Greek cities in order to keep them under control. So from this point, as you can see, you have to understand. First, the Ionians, they were Greeks who lived at the coast of Turkey. And suddenly the Persians, they conquered them. So they sent help to the other city-states of Greek like Athens. And then Athens and other Greek cities, they sent help to save their brothers of Ionians from the captivity of the Persians. But Persia was more powerful and they defeated even with the help that they were sent. And the Persia, they didn't care about that. Greeks helping one another, coming against them, so they start the war for all the Greeks. Okay, first invasion of Greece started. The first invasion. At the time of the first invasion of Greece, the king of Persia was called Darius I. So he decided he wanted to conquer the Greeks in 490 BC. And what did he do? He gathered a vast army of soldiers that outnumbered any army the Greeks could even assemble. The word master means assemble. So he gathered more than 100,000 soldiers in order to conquer all the Greeks at once. So they boarded the Persian fleet, the Persian ships, and headed to Greece. Now they are coming to Greece. Okay. So the first battle that was fought between the Greeks and the Persians was called the Battle of Marathon. Maybe the word marathon, you know it. It's a long run, a long running. So why was it called that name? We shall see it. So the Persian fleet landed at the Bay of Marathon. They landed here, about 25 miles from the city of Athens. About 20 miles from the city of Athens. About 20 miles of city of Athens. So the Persians had a lot more soldiers, but they underestimated the fighting capability of the Greeks. The army of Athens routed the Persian army, killing around 6,000 Persians and only losing 192 Greeks. So the Battle of Marathon started. The Persians, they underestimated the army of Greek, and then many Persians were killed. Around 6,000 Persians was killed at the Battle of Marathon. And the Greeks, they only lost around 192. So after that battle, what happened is, the Athenian army, they ran 25 miles back to Athens in order to prevent the Persians from attacking the city. So after the war ended, the rest of the army of Athens, they ran back to Athens in order to inform the people of Athens that the Persians are on the way to conquer the city and the Greeks. So that long run of around 25 miles is the reason why this battle was named Marathon, because they have to juggle, they have to run 25 miles up to where? Up to their city of Athens. So even the marathon run, the marathon in the Olympic Games is from this historical background. Even this is the origin of the marathon running race. Okay. There's another battle, and that battle was called, the Battle of Salamis. The Battle of Salamis. So the battle of Salamis, now the Persian army continued to march on Greece again. They still want to conquer Greece. When they arrived at the city of Athens, they found it deserted. Okay, when they arrived at the city of Athens, there were no one at all. The people of Athens, they already fled. They ran away. So what can they do now? They just see the city deserted, and then they went with their ships, and then suddenly, while they were at the island of Salamis, the Athenian ships, they were waiting there. So was waiting off the coast by the island of Salamis. So the much larger Persian fleet attacked the small Athenian ships. They were sure of victory. The Persians, they had the bigger ships, they have the bigger army, and now in that sea, they were sure that they will succeed against a small army of Greeks. So they were sure of victory. However, the Athenian ship is called triremes. That's the name of the ship, is triremes. Were fast. They rammed into the sides of the large Persian ships. They collided it, and finally they sank them. They soundly defeated the Persian cousin, the king of Persia, called Xerxes. And Xerxes was the son of Darius I, to retreat back to Persia. So as you can see from here, dear students, the first battle that was fought between Persia and Greece was called, we talked about the Battle of Marathon, and then we talked about also the Battle of Salamis. There was also another battle, and that battle was called the Battle of Thermopylae. And the Battle of Thermopylae was between 300 Spartans against the Persian army. So those 300 Spartans was led by a king called King Leonidas. And Leonidas was able, to make the Persians suffer a lot. Although finally the Persians, they were able to kill all the 300 men from Sparta, but thousands of Persians were also killed. Even a movie was made from that story. The 300 Spartans fighting against the Persian army. So 3 battles was fought by the Persians and the Greeks. The first battle, Marathon, Thermopylae, and the last one was the Battle of Salamis. So the Battle of Salamis was the last one. And the Persians, they were not able to conquer Greece. Okay, this is the second invasion of Greece. 10 years later, in 480 BC, the son of Darius I, King Xerxes, decided to get his revenge of the Greeks. He amassed a huge army of 200,000 soldiers and 1,000 warships. 1,000 warships. So this is the battle that I was just explaining. It is in your notice. You will be able to read it. I just explained it for you now. So the Spartans fought to death. All the 300 they fought to death, and the Persians as they could. So this is a map explaining the Battle of Salamis. We discussed it before. So generally, this is facts, interesting facts about the Persian wars. This is the part you will be able to read. After the first invasion, the Athenians built a mighty ship called Triremes. The Persian Empire will eventually be conquered by Greeks under the leadership of Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great from Greek will be able to conquer all Persia from that battle that we are talking about. So the rest you will be able to read, inshallah. You have the papers, you will have the notice. So to summarize, our lesson today was about to understand the wars that was fought by Persia and Greek. So there were three wars: the Battle of Thermopylae, the Battle of Marathon, and the Battle of Salamis. But all these three battles, the Persians, they failed to conquer the Greeks. That's for all. I hope you understand. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. The movie 300